What is up, everyone? So it has been a while since our game had any update, really. Okay, and it wasn't until today that we have an Evil Ryu update. I think it's like an alternate skin to Evil Ryu from Street Fighter 4. I don't know what they're gonna do. It's like our fourth Ryu, so whatever though. But the true boss of this game is actually Mech Zangief, right? He's been in the game since the beginning of the game, and I don't think anyone really knows how he works. Every other boss we have in this game tells us their abilities, their descriptions, and like we know how to fight them. But this is the one boss we see every other day or every other day, depending on your guild, where we actually don't know what he does, and he gives us like gems as rewards. So I think this boss is actually one of the most important bosses we have in the game that we need to do, that we should do, that we don't know what he does. Okay, so I'm gonna explain what he actually does because I don't think anyone else has done that yet. So I have made a video. I've made several videos actually about what he does, how to beat him, and what thresholds we should try to aim for at what level we're at. Okay, so what I have here is I'm just gonna play a video here of regular Zangief and just explain what he actually does in the match. Okay, so beginning of the game, I'm using regular Zangief's lariat as initial damage. Okay, like those damage does not change. Their basic attack damages usually doesn't change, but against Mech Zangief, it is slowly going down. We started at 3 million damage. Now we're slowly going down to 2.7. Now, after Mech Zangief does his rocket punch, he gets a shield around himself. Now, the shield makes it so that you do about 1/6 of your damage, maybe about 1/5. All right, so now you're doing 500,000 damage instead of 3 million damage. Okay, so this bubble really hurts. Okay, so he shoots a rocket in the air. The rocket rains down, and you can get 3 debuffs. Right now, Geef got two. He got attack down, and he got crit down. Okay, so what attack down does is you do about half of your damage, maybe like 40%, 60% of your damage. But like, remember, you started at 3 million damage, and then with the shield, you went down to 500,000. So that's 1/6. And then with the attack down, you're now at less than 300,000. So you're basically doing about 1/10 of your damage from the start if you have the debuff and if he has his shields up. Now you also have crit down. Now I'm no longer critting anymore, so I'm not even doing crit damage anymore. So that's like 2 DPS buffs, right? The third debuff you can get is a speed down. Doesn't make sense, right? Now you'll see it at the end of the video, but once you get a speed down, right? Speed down makes it so that you miss attacks more. It doesn't make sense. You miss more, which is why like sometimes you do a big attack and it just whiffs on Mech Zangief. Okay, so there's 3 debuffs you can actually get from the raining missiles. Okay, so the shield lasts until he does his blue flame. Once the blue flames happens, right, then the shield goes away. So right here, the shield is gone now. You're doing normal damage, except you still have the debuff, right? So ideally right now, if you didn't get the debuffs and the shields are gone, this is when you're supposed to go ham and dish out as big as you can, as much damage as you can. But since I have the debuff, it's not gonna happen, right? He rocket punches, the shield comes back, and my debuff wears off, right? Because I think that's how long it takes, right? It doesn't really tell you, but you know, this game doesn't really tell you much anyways. So right now the shield's back, so you're doing reduced damage again. Right now you're doing about how much I can't even tell how much I'm doing right now. Right, raining missiles comes. I get attack down and speed down, and right now you can see my attacks are missing, right? So not only am I doing 200k damage. Originally you were doing 3 million. Now here's a shield. Now you have attack down, so you're doing 200k. So you're doing less than 1/10. And you're gonna whiff. Watch. There's gonna be some misses from this lariat. Miss. So there are some misses, right? So basically, you're using Pharaoh Sagat, using Balrog, using Fire Adon, and you have these debuffs on you, but you can't really see these debuffs because you have so many buffs on you, right, from your other characters that the debuffs won't even show on your character. So you don't even know if you have debuffs on you, which makes this really, really hard. Which is why this boss is so random, right? Which sometimes you do a really high score, and sometimes you don't do a really high score because you have debuffs and you didn't even know because no one tells you how this boss works. Okay, so that's how this boss works, okay? So what should I be doing on this boss? So we're gonna do a standard Fire Adon run here, okay? Now this is the standard bossing team right here. We got the standard EXs, right? We have a standard team. Everyone knows this team, right? This is a team we all use in every boss event. This is the biggest, most damaging team we have. However, not really the most damaging team we have on Mech Zangief for some reason. Either way, this will be our default because this is what everyone runs. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what. First of all, I'm gonna show you how to actually run this team for this fight, and I'm gonna show you what alternatives there are that are better than this team, like way better than this team. Okay, so you know, normal people, right? Normally people just borrow a Flame Chun-Li because they don't spend money in this game, and they have their own Richanda, they have their own Fire, they don't have their own Adon, they have their own turtles. I mean, you don't really need turtles, right? You could just do it with like any other thing that doesn't make sure you don't die. You don't need these EXs either. You can use like EX Turtle, EX Pizza, EX Virgil, whatever, right? But the point of this team, right, is to line up your EXs so that when you pop EX Guile or you pop EX Rage is when the shield is down, okay? So remember, after the shield goes down, which is after the blue flames, is right now, right? Until the rocket punch, right? His shields are down. Hopefully you don't have any debuffs, right? Because you can't really see them yourself, right? So right now, it's basically when I'm doing most amount of damage, right? And the shield doesn't come up until after he does his rocket punch and he poses. Right? After he poses, then the shield comes back up, right? And then you do reduce damage afterwards, okay? So right now, I think I'm at 120 million, I think, okay? Ain't gonna get much more than that, I promise you, okay? Like, doesn't matter how much damage you're doing, right? Whether you have the debuff or not. Well, I stopped at 129. Usually I quit if I don't like the score, because on Mech Zangief, you can start the fight and quit. Start the fight and quit and leave. It won't eat up a try. And even if you do make it to the end and you still don't like the score, you can close the game. If you close the game, it won't eat the attempt, right? So which is why I like to quit a lot and like retry until I get a decent score. Now 129 I think is probably on the higher end of what my account can do. I'm sitting at level 600. Okay, and normally a team like this with Fire Adon can go somewhere between like 70 million and 130 million. So like right now, let me rewind a little bit. There's a threshold, okay? Right here. If you look at the top of the screen, it shows that if you hit 61 billion, is that 61 billion? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. If you hit 61 billion, okay, you move on to the next threshold of chests. Like you see on the top, right, you've got 3, 9, 8, 6 chests, okay? These are basically prizes you get for reaching a milestone when you're attacking Mech Zangief, okay? Now, everyone, I think, is stuck behind the 61 million, right? Because, like, 61 million is kind of like the place you want to stop at once you reach there. Because, like, unless you're, like, really, really, really strong or have a really, really strong team, you're probably not going to try much harder because there's no point, really. Because once you hit 61 billion, which is right here, then the chest goes from 3986 to... Did it even go up? Did it even go up? Hold on. Let's see. 3986? I don't think it went up. 4986. It went up to... I got the extra chest around 80 million. I'm not sure when the chest actually comes up and gives it to you, but like, you get one more chest, right? Whoopee, right? You might get some gems. Hey, over time it adds up, okay? The next threshold after that is 561 billion. Now, from 61 billion to 561 billion, that's like a massive jump, right? That's a massive jump. It's like 10 times jump, right? It's not impossible, all right? With these teams I'm going to show you, it is very possible, okay? So, now, if you're comfortable with Fire Adon and you got your 61 billion and you're fine, that's fine, right? But if you have other teams, such as, I'm going to show you this one. This one's my favorite one. This is my favorite one. I'm using Sagat here. Pharaoh Sagat with Dante. My Dante is A grade. My Dante is A grade, okay? All right. But my Pharaoh Sagat is FS30, which he's done. He's not good anymore. If you're FS29 and under, oh, he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. But because it's FS30, he wastes so much time with that trigger that I'm missing out on so much damage, okay? But this team still works. It can easily go above 62 billion. Was it 62? I forgot the number already. All right, so what do you do here? You have Dante. I'm not sure if everyone knows this, right? I don't care if everyone knows this, right? They're not going to fix this. If they do, whatever. Okay, if you have Dante in tag right now, okay, and you do his C1 immediately, and you super from tag, if you watch the previous video, I explained how to super from tag, you basically don't lose a super bar. Or you get it back. I'm not sure how it works, right? But either way, you can keep supering from tag, and you don't really lose bar. So basically, you basically have infinite super, really, okay? And because Pharaoh Sagat's C3 eats a bar, so you're basically using 1 bar instead of 2, okay? Because usually, if you use the C3 and you have 2 bars, it eats it. But because you're really only spending 1 bar, because the C3 only eats 1 bar instead of using the super, whatever, right? This works, okay? So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm going Dante, Street Poison, Fei Long, and Pharaoh Sagat, and I'm just doing over and over again. And I'm timing it really slowly so that I don't miss a beat because his trigger is so slow. Okay, the point of this, right, is to keep poison stacks up, which is kind of hard. Okay, to have Donatello assist so that you don't die to a missile, to have EX Pizza, and to have EX Virgil so you don't die to any other missiles. Okay, you got to time him. You got to time him kind of correctly so that those falling missiles and the rocket punches don't kill you. Okay, all right. And to have Fei Long right now. Fei Long is actually a key. Okay, so Fei Long has this buff where if he gets 150 stacks, like if you look at Fei Long right now, Fei Long's at 106. He's at 106 stacks. I don't know why they made him to get double buffs on 150, right? It's not going to happen in any other place other than Trial of Blood or Guild Shadowlands or whatever this is called, Path of Fire. Okay, because 150 means you're going to have a Super C2, Super C2, Super C2 all day, and no one has that much meter unless you're doing Guild Shadowlands. Okay, so at this point, I'm doing about 400 and some billion, right? This is 468 billion. So if you have a Pharaoh Sagat or a Fei Long, then just borrow the other one and an A Dante, at least an A Dante, then you can easily get 62 billion. Okay, now if you don't have either of these guys, that's fine. You can do another team. This team's even better. Okay, if you have Royal Balrog, which is kind of expensive, but you probably should have him because if you want to compete in bossing, you're gonna need him unless you have Flame Chun-Li and no one else does, because Flame Chun-Li and Adon kind of gives you like what you really need to get a top score. But if someone else has that and you need another team that's even that's like just as good, not just as good but pretty good, then Balrog's probably gonna be their main person, right? So you're gonna have Balrog, and you need Fei Long, and you need T-Hawk. You don't really need T-Hawk. There's another variation I'll show you afterwards. But this score can break 600 billion. So it will break the 550 billion barrier. Okay, it'll easily break the 62 billion barrier, right? So just borrow someone's Balrog or borrow someone's Fei Long, right? Or borrow someone's T-Hawk. Okay, you can't borrow all three, right? But just borrow someone if you're missing the other part, okay? So how this run works, okay, is you immediately start supering with Fei Long. Okay, Fei Long, you want him to get 150 stacks as soon as possible. Okay, no other place can you do this, right? Because you will run out of meter so fast. For some reason, the Guild Shadowlands, you just get infinite meter. Like, look, my bar, it just keeps going up really fast for no reason. I don't know why, right? It just is like this. Okay, so I think they designed Fei Long with this in mind, that you get so much meter, you might as well just use him here because he actually shines really, really hard here. Okay, look, Fei Long's already at 80 stacks. Okay, I'm 60 seconds in, 30 seconds in, right? And Fei Long's already more than halfway there. So what I'm doing, I'm basically just charging Balrog. And then after I charge Balrog, right, I just start wailing with Balrog. I I start wailing with Fei Long, and T-Hawk is just sitting there not doing anything. Just sitting there not doing anything. Okay, I activated EX Pizza early because if you activate EX Pizza, you actually get a pizza buff. You get a damage buff from the EX Pizza that does not ever go away. Okay, so you can kind of share between. Let me pause right here. You can kind of share. You can kind of like decide if you want to use the Donatello assist or you want to use EX Pizza, because both of them save your life, except Donatello is automatic and Pizza's manual. So you can choose which one to use first. I like using the EX Pizza first because I want the damage buff. But right here, I'm gonna rewind a little bit. Once Fei Long hits 150 stacks, that's when I start supering with T-Hawk. Okay, this whole time I have not been supering with T-Hawk. I've just been doing Fei Long, Street Poison, Fei Long, Balrog. Fei Long, Street Poison, Fei Long, Balrog. Okay. Now, of course, I started a combo with Balrog first by doing a super with him earlier. But after that, Fei Long, Street Poison, Fei Long, Balrog, just to build his 150 stacks. Once you have 150 stacks, that's when you start doing T-Hawk, Street Poison, Fei Long, Balrog. Okay. So, because if you're doing Fei Long, Street Poison, Fei Long, Balrog, you're never gonna hit 5 poison stacks. Okay. The combo's way too slow. Okay, but it hurts a lot. So once you hit 150 stacks, which is right now, that's when you start doing T-Hawk. So you can actually build the 5 poison stacks. So Balrog can actually take advantage of the 150 stacks plus the 5 toxic love plus T-Hawk, whatever he does. He just gives you so much damage, right? Now all of my C3 Balrogs is doing like, this one's what, 63? Is that 63 billion? That looks like 63 billion. What's the next one? That's what, 29? That's 67 billion. Okay. 72 billion. You see, each of these C3s are doing so much damage. Okay, this is so much damage. Okay, and the last C3 is gonna do how much? 77 billion. 77 billion. Okay, that's more than one of the thresholds. Okay, so I went above. What was it 561 billion? What's after 561? What's the threshold after that? I got my one extra chest, whatever, right? You're at your next threshold 5.5. Is that 5.5 trillion? No way. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5.5 trillion. That's not gonna happen unless they release a unit that does like 10 times more damage than Balrog, which I don't think they're gonna do. But hey, anything can happen with this new Evil Ryu. I don't know, right? So this is the combo. I mean, I didn't even explain the combo, but you can kind of see what's going on here. If you don't have any of these guys, you don't have T-Hawk. Maybe you have Fei Long, maybe you have Balrog. But there's another combo you can do. This is by Lazy Bow. Okay, he's running something like this. This is very doable. Everyone has a Rich Honda. If you don't, please get a Rich Honda now. It's probably one of the best supports in the game. Everyone has Street Poison. She's a basic free unit. No, not everyone has Fei Long. He just came out. Okay, he costs $50. He's kind of like Flame Chun-Li for every other team except for Fire. And then Balrog. Okay, so just, you probably don't have Balrog or you don't have Fei Long. Okay, you could borrow one of that and just make your own other one. Okay, so this is probably the bare minimum I would run. This is also an easier version of what I did, and it did more damage. Okay, now these 3 X's, not everyone has EX Virgil, but everyone has Akuma and everyone has Rage, right? You can definitely replace EX Virgil with like EX Pizza or EX Ryu. Ooh, that's the EX Evil Ryu. That one kind of saves you a little bit. Maybe that won't work. I haven't tried it yet, but EX Virgil helps a lot. So what this method is right in the beginning. Now I kind of wait a little because I need a little bit of meter. You just start off with Fei Long, Balrog, Fei Long. Okay, Fei Long, Balrog. So you do that 3 times. Do that 3 times until you have 3 Balrog stacks. I forgot what they're called, right? And then you do Fei Long, Poison, Fei Long. Okay, do that 3 times. Okay, because what we're trying to do here is kill time and build up toxic love stacks so that we don't get one shot from this missile and waste a free cheat death. Okay, especially this missile right here. Okay, so now I have 5 points of toxic love stacks. You can't really see the toxic love stacks, right? Because I have so many buffs, right? I also can't see if I got any debuffs, right? Because I have so many buffs. But we're just assuming I don't have any debuffs, right? Because I kept replaying this until I actually did good damage, okay? So I started off the combo after the 3 Fei Long Poison Fei Longs with Balrog, Street Poison, Fei Long, Balrog, okay? After that, you just do very simple Rich Honda, Street Poison, Fei Long, Balrog over and over again. This is very simple. It's just straightforward. Okay, so this is actually the easiest version to do. Okay, and I'm raging. When did I rage? I raged a little bit after the blue flames, I think. Right here, yeah. Right. So his blue flames was like right here, I think. I forgot. All right, blue flames. Okay. And I raged right here, I think. There we go. So his shields are down. Hopefully I don't have any debuffs. I'm doing the max amount of damage possible. Okay. Fei Long's at 134 stacks, right? He's gonna get 150 soon, right? So what his stacks do? I'm gonna explain what his stacks actually do, right? Each threshold of stacks he has, I'm not gonna explain what threshold does what, but it basically gives you attack damage, crit, and all that good stuff. But once you have 150, it doubles all that, and you get 1 attack % per stack. So you get an insane amount of damage per stack once he has 150. Okay, so which is why Balrog's hitting like a truck right now. Okay. Oh yeah, and what sucks is because he just did raining missiles right there. That means there's another chance for him to apply more debuffs on you, which makes it even, which means the end of the fight, you can actually get the slow down, the speed down, or the crit down, or the attack down, and it makes the last hit like do nothing, and you just fail your run, which is why this boss is so annoying. So what's this? 637 billion. That last explosive 2-shot did what? 59 billion. Okay, but yeah, so this run is easier. Okay, it's not as fancy as the one with T-Hawk, right? But it's definitely doing way more damage. Okay, I went from 600 and what was it 20 billion, I think, or 618, 619 to 638. Okay, so both those teams relatively are equal, I think, right? I think this one I just got way luckier. But this one is way more achievable, way more easier to do. You can definitely hit 62 billion with this. Definitely. Okay. I'm doing 10 times 62 billion with this, right? And if you ever want to try to get over the 550 billion threshold to get to the next level, then you probably run a team like this or with T-Hawk, okay? Maybe not the one with Pharaoh, Sagat, and Dante. But if you do have Pharaoh, Sagat, I would do Trial of Blood, okay? Trial of Blood here. Remember, guys, I made a video how crazy good Pharaoh Sagat is, okay? And usually everyone that does Trial of Blood, they get stuck on wave 27. Right, because once you hit wave 27, everything's kind of hard to kill, right? But because Pharaoh Sagat kind of hits like a truck, I made this video strictly to hit wave 28. Okay, to beat wave 28, stop on wave 29, and let's call it a day. Once you hit 5.5 trillion on Path of Fire, and you're just gonna stop. You're just gonna raid all day and just stop, right? You're just gonna hit raid, keep the last score, and never do it again, because there's no way I'm ever gonna hit 5.5 trillion. Same thing for Child Blood. Once you hit wave 29, you're just gonna stop, because there's no way you're gonna kill it. Like, no way, okay? So this is the easiest thing ever, okay? Fei Long, Street Poison, Fei Long. Just do it until you hit 150. I kid you not. You just do that until you hit 150 stacks with Fei Long. Because remember, all these initial waves, they die like nothing. They die from you just breathing on them. Okay. The hard part is killing the last 2 waves. That's the hard part. Okay. So I'm just charging here and killing them with my supers and my C2s. I'm really not doing anything else here. Okay. All I'm doing is doing Fei Long, Street Poison, Fei Long. Oh, and I snuck in 1 super with Sagat to get a clone up, because you want a clone up to get the extra crit from his FS 10 or 20, I forgot what it was. Okay, so once Fei Long hits 150 stacks, right now he's at 120. Okay, so 3 more supers. Okay, that's when you start going ham. Now remember, my Sagat is FS 30, which makes my Sagat like extra bad. If he was FS 29, I'd easily clear this, right? But because he wastes so much time, it makes this run a lot slower. But still, right now, because now Sagat's like just one-shotting things. Remember, Rich Honda does super, okay? Puts life link on everyone, all right? And they just all die to 1 shot, okay? That was wave 26, okay? I think this is wave 27. That fireball did half their life. This trigger fireball does like 1/10 of that damage, which does nothing, which feels really bad, okay? But this next one will probably kill them. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Boom, they're all dead. Wave 29. So I made it to wave 28. Past 28, okay? And after that, all you gotta do is just hit raid. Okay, so if you borrow Fei Long, borrow a Pharaoh Sagat, or make one your own, or buy one your own, okay? Get to that last wave and just hit raid all day and just sit in your gems that you'll be getting from now on, okay? But yes, remember, the key to this is Action Fei Long. Now, Banquet Fei Long, I'm sorry. Banquet Fei Long is literally insane in Guild Shelllands. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys learned something.